Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to the U. This is going to be our first live broadcast of our podcast. You can check it out on YouTube at Undrafted Sports. Right now, we're going to be talking about NHL, and this week we had our first goalie goal of the season. Linus Ullmark scored an empty netter against none other than the Canucks.
Who else would have happened
Dirty
to?
nuts.
Who else would have happened to other than the Canucks? What a goal. Didn't count for my fantasy points, so I was a little pissed off, but whatever.
Might have been just your league, though, because I've been seeing a lot of people happy about that. Him scoring a goal, getting a couple extra fantasy points out of him.
That's like a punter scoring a touchdown. That's just amazing.
Yeah,
Everyone loves to see that, no matter who it is, unless you're a Canucks fan.
For sure.
Haven't seen a goalie goal in a while, so it was great to see that. I mean, Boston winning big against the Canucks, who aren't doing too good. Great to see it.
Nah, Canucks love it. One step closer to Bedard.
Facts. Definitely true. All right, we're going to keep it moving. Next, we got Timo Meier went to the Devils.
Let's go, Devils!
Bring him the jersey,
Let's
baby!
go, let's go!
Bring him the jersey.
That's kind of a huge trade. And honestly, I think the Devils fleeced. San Jose got a 2023 first, a conditional 2024 first, Andreas Johnson, Fabian Zetterlund, who's a good third liner, 2 prospects and a 7th. And the Devils got Timo Meier, Scott Harrington, 2 prospects and a 5th. I think the Devils fleeced on this one.
Devils definitely fleeced. Timo Meier's young, too.
Young.
So
26.
he's young and crazy good. I'm surprised the Sharks were even down to trade him. I don't know why they want to trade like Carlson or someone old. Well, they're playing bad, but I mean, I'll definitely take Timo Meier.
He fits that timeline of that core, too, so
I know,
well. It's
I know.
amazing.
That's a talented young core. I love it. I'm excited for the future New Jersey, baby.
So now the question is, does Timo Meier make the Devils a legitimate contender now?
They already were, so hell yeah.
I don't know if I say they were before this, but this could put them over the top.
Yeah, for sure.
Timo Meier's a fantastic player, and I mean he's dominating on a terrible Sharks team.
Yeah, so it's going to be great to see him on that Devils line.
Put him with Jack Hughes, put him with Nico Hischier. That's going to be insane.
Dougie Hamilton also on the defensive end of that, on that line. Oh my God.
That's just a talented young team in Jersey. They're going to be good for a couple of years as long as you can keep them. All right, and now let's get to what you want to talk about. I know what you want to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Patrick Kane, baby. The trade hasn't happened yet, but it's supposedly in place, going to go through this Wednesday, and he could be in, who are they playing on Wednesday? I forget, but he could be playing for the Rangers on Wednesday night, and I am so hyped
Mark it in. Patty Kane to the Rangers. Crazy. That makes them one of the favorites.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
got to.
I just want to say, with every Rangers loss, it seems like that trade is getting more likely. It's just putting more and more pressure on that front office. This seems like the year that they need to win the cup, and Patty Kane on the Rangers would just be electric. I would love that.
Oh my gosh, bro. That team would be nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the trade should have went through yesterday. I mean, I feel like Patty Kane's been trying to get on the Rangers since as of last year.
Because what were the Rangers last year? A Patty Kane away from winning it all.
Yeah. That puts them over the Lightning. You know, they had Chris Kreider scoring 50 goals last year. Imagine having Patty Kane. That's ridiculous.
I mean,
True.
Undrafted followers know that my take on the Rangers this season. You know, I think they win the cup. Plus 1,400 odds. Hammer it now.
Before they get Patty Kane. If you want to bet on the Rangers to win it all, do it ASAP before they get Patrick Kane, because that is going to go down the lines.
Exactly what he said. I mean, Patrick Kane makes the Rangers that much better. So,
But
take it now.
going back to them losing a bunch of games, they had to play 4 defensemen the other night. They had a 5th defenseman sitting on the bench, dressed, ready to go. Didn't play him 1 minute because of cap reasons.
Salary cap. Yeah,
just to get Patrick Kane on this team. Every defenseman played 25 plus minutes on that in that game.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. They're going to all these lengths to get Patrick Kane. I just hope it turns out for the better. You know?
Yeah.
Also that game, Keandre Miller, who was the 5th defenseman, it was supposed to be the 6th defenseman that was sitting, spits in Drew Doughty's face. You can't make this up. I'm sure he's got a suspension coming, and with Lindgren hurt, that puts the Rangers in a tough spot on the back end. How are they going to get through this, man?
I mean, the Rangers have not, defensively at least, have not been looking good. Obviously, injuries, now the suspension. This really hurts the Rangers a lot, at least pushing for the playoffs. I mean, they're looking good, but, I mean, a few losses and a few wins from some other teams could really bump them out. So
Yeah.
hopefully it works out for the better of the Rangers
Definitely.
defense. But
might knock them back to a wild card, but the East seems pretty locked right now.
I just think
I
if
think
you're the
they'll be
Rangers,
good,
you
yeah.
want to wait as long as possible to play either the Bruins or the Lightning. Those are the last two teams you want to face.
Yeah.
Bruins this year.
It's
Bruins
looking-
this
it's
year.
looking
I'd
Lightning
like to see
have
the
the
Bruins this
Lightning
year.
have the experience. You don't want to play them in the playoffs. No one wants to play the Lightning in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm
dude, I
sorry.
don't even know. I think the Hurricanes are even better than both those teams right now.
Mm.
They've been on a 10-game win
Then the
streak.
Bruins?
Or the Lightning, I would take
I don't know.
Carolina over.
This
both
is
of them.
looking like Boston's year. If
Unless the
we'll see.
Devils have something to say about it.
I hate saying it's a team's year just judging by a regular season because everything changes in the playoffs. I mean, we saw it with the
Exactly.
Lightning a couple years ago getting swept in the first round. But, I mean, the Bruins look nasty. The
Yeah.
record-setting season almost, you know. So, if they can keep it up, they'll be a legit contender.
I totally agree.
So yeah, Keandre Miller, that's crazy. Spits in Drew Doughty's face. Suspension definitely incoming. And yeah. But going back to the Lightning, they just made a huge trade. Gave up a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth for Tanner Jeannot, who, I don't know, people might have their opinions about this guy. I like him. He's a good power forward, but that's a lot to give up for somebody that's got 14 points on the year.
The production doesn't just not seem to be there at all. This seems like a crazy overpay. I don't know what the Lightning are thinking, but then again, they're the Lightning. You don't want to play them in the playoffs, like I just said.
Exactly.
So.
It's the Lightning. These things always tend to work out for them. They gave up a first for a fourth-line player, Barclay Goodrow, a couple years ago. They won a cup. They have Blake Coleman. They won a cup. Last year, they traded for Hagel. Hagel turned out to be...
Hagel's a dog.
Now he's on their second line. So...
Yeah. They just seem to be almost like the Patriots in that way. Just every guy that could go good does. And that's probably down to the coaching and management. So good for the Lightning, but they definitely overpaid for him. 100%. No way they did.
Most hockey fans are probably thinking, who even is that? I mean, personally, you know, most people probably don't even know him. I mean, as you guys said, the Lightning can make anything happen. Hopefully, maybe he makes a playoff push for them and does well. So.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about the Leafs a little bit. We talked about
We
them
love the
last
Leafs
week.
on this podcast.
We hate them here, actually.
Yeah, we hate the Leafs.
But we were talking smack on Ryan O'Reilly and them trading up a bag for him, and we were wrong. He went out the next day after we put that podcast out and had a hat trick.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Last week's segment of the podcast, we were going off at Ryan O'Reilly and the Leafs trade. We didn't think that was a good trade for them at all. We were hating on him so hard. Literally the next day, we posted the YouTube video the next day, and on that same day we posted it, he plays his first game for the Leafs and scores a hattie. So
Unbelievable. I mean, ever since the hat trick, though, he hasn't been looking too great. I mean, maybe it's beginner's luck, new places, but wow, we were completely wrong about that. It was so stupid, but at the end of the day, we still stand on our decision. Ryan O'Reilly still sucks.
And at the end,
and at the end of the day, I still do think that no matter what the Leafs do this year, they would have done it with or without Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that because you know what? You still got to get past the Lightning. You got to get past the Bruins. And if you get past them, you got to get past the Hurricanes or the Rangers or
Or even the
Devils.
Devils, baby.
Another one of these Metro teams that are just stacked. The East, it's like I saw a meme today and it was like it was like an arms race. Like in the East, every team is trying to trade for these top-notch players from the West to stack up and you know, it's like an arms race. Like,
It's pretty
It's like
much
the
like
Cold War.
everything that's going on in the NBA with the West right now is like hockey with the East.
exactly. But yeah, so
Hey, I still stand by what I said last week. He is still a culture changer for that Maple Leafs team. Not saying they'll do anything, but he 100% signifies them trying to win a cup. And
Yeah,
obviously he went
definitely.
out and he made it look like that was a great trade. So
I think the Leafs get past the first round this year. They haven't gone past it in 7 years. They're going to be going up against most likely the Lightning in the first round, and
That's
Oh
tough.
my
that's
gosh.
tough.
That was
That's
that's what it was last year too. They played the Lightning first round.
Exactly.
And they have gone eliminated in the first round 7 straight years.
Going for 8 maybe? Who knows?
So we'll see what happens
Probably if
with
they
that.
have the Lightning.
We'll see what happens with that. I want to talk a little bit about Connor McDavid.
What is there to say? But yeah.
He's got 48 goals, 65 assists for 113 points in 60 games. Almost 2 points
That's
per game.
insane.
That's some Eashel numbers.
That's
right
that's
there.
like that's like Gretzky numbers in modern day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is absolutely nuts.
Actual video game numbers. Pasta's the next closest person in goals with 42. Kucherov's 3 assists behind him, and Draisaitl has 88 points, nowhere even near the 113 that McDavid has.
Crazy. I mean, obviously we all know how great he is. He is the exact same as Mike Trout. They are the perfect, just in 2 different sports, same type of player. Team success isn't there, but it's not their fault. It's a team game. They do everything they can to win,
Yeah, but
management lets
in
them
my
down.
opinion, McDavid is even better in hockey than Mike Trout is at baseball.
That's tough to
McDavid, it is tough to say, but McDavid, we haven't seen anything like this.
That
ever.
is true.
He's so different.
But also, Mike Trout came out as a Hall of Famer.
And
The
at
first
least-
5 years, he's a Hall of Famer, which is the same as McDavid. So
And at least they're making the playoffs, man. You
Yeah,
know, like,
sure.
I mean, that West is a tight race, and like they could slip out with a couple losses, but at least they're in a playoff spot now. Last year they made a little bit of a run. I think they made it to the Western Conference Final,
yeah, but they lost to
The Avs.
Avs, obviously.
but last year was the Avs year. I mean, we were talking about the Bruins
Mhm.
year, but last year was definitely the Avs year.
100%.